Hello, once again. It has been a while, hasn't it? Some would say, even too long. But I'm too lazy to linger on that, so why don't we just jump right back into the story. With Chapter 3, Humble Beginnings, but after all that exposition. The previous two chapters were merely the setup, but this, my friends, is where the story truly begins. Cut to some guy's house a few years in the future when he's an adult now. It is now the year 2008. He sits in his living room watching, I don't know, Angry Birds or something. I flunked 2008 class, I'm more of a 2008 The Sequel fan. He was thinking of Mario, like most people who think of hot men do. And by Mario, I mean the retro ones. So we went over to his friend Billy's house to get those Marios again. Billy was smoking his Billy Bob and Brothers branded bomb. During one hangout section, Billy pulled out a plastic bag saying, "Dude, you won't believe what I found at this weird cursed garage sale. You like, Gamera, right?" The guy, who will be referred to as Zachary from here on out because I don't feel like saying the guy every time, considered this and said, I like Godzilla, but yeah, I do. Did you get an evil Godzilla game or something? No, brah, but I did get a Godzilla game. You know that weird one Wario and an electrician made? Who the hell are those guys? I read about it on a Lost Media Forum post once. The game is called Godzilla, Monster of Monsters. Ever heard of it? Sounds a lot like Mothra, Monster of Monsters, plus Rod Ann. Are you sure it's not a bootleg of that? No, dude, this is the original one. I think your Mothra game was the weird bootleg. Zachary zoned out as he realized his favorite childhood game was a reskin, but Billy continued, not noticing. But anyways, you should probably check it out. Rumors say that if you play this weird cartridge, alone some weird shit happens. So Zach took the game home and saw multiple drug deals in broad daylight, as you do. He played through the game, and it was pretty normal, aside from some purple and green guy killing some dudes, and not like in the cool way, like with hammers. Zach went inside his 4.5-star 3-story mansion with a hot tub, AC, scenic garden, and 2 medieval rooms. He pulled out his dusty homebrewed NES and blew his candle out. He started to daydream of playing his childhood game, albeit this being the real one that had Godzilla and non-anime, non-anthro Mothra. But anyways, it was pretty normal. And then it wasn't. Every time Zach reached the end of a world, a particularly strange red man would try to sell him football on the Sega Genesis, known as Madden 92. This was strange, because wasn't this game on the NES? It's not like he would know. The further Zach went through the worlds, the weirder it got. First there was some blue world, then a green one with some reused levels, and then a short icy one. Each time, the red man chased him and tried to get him to play football. Then, he got to the big one. Entropy. He ended up with just Mothra for this world. So, in a way, it was just like the childhood bootleg game that he knew and loved. At least until he got to the Winter Forest level. Whoever designed it must have only done Kaizo levels, cause boy did this one suck. Directly afterward, it taunted him with a vision of this dead girl who wasn't quite his girlfriend, but it still shook him enough to make him scared. Then, there was a stupidly unbalanced boss after the winter level, like Calamity Infernum levels of needing to lock in, and Zach could tell that whoever was designing these characters was quickly running out of budget because there was only one sprite of it that wiggled around on screen. After that annoying fight, the screen went to black. Cassandra! A voice said. Wait, no, fuck, wrong game! I swear I've been practicing this for years, and I can't believe I fucked it up! Zach looked at him with an expression of sympathy and said, It's okay, scary red voice. What did you mean to say? The red voice responded, hold on. Melissa! Zach flew off the handle that he was sitting on in fear. Yipes! That's my girlfriend's, who is dead, name! Who is also dead. He responded, Kill yourself, kill, and so on and so forth. It even came with a jump scare. This would later cause the game to get a lower Metacritic score due to people considering it a cheap screamer, but it still makes Zack freak out in fear. After he got over himself, he finished Entropy, and the next world happened. But now Zack had something on his mind. Revenge! Our old friend Solomon wasn't doing too well. He's fallen on hard times in the years since we've last seen him. While he was able to get a decent job at the White Temple for a little while, the market on red gems crashed and never recovered in the fateful year of 2005, which put him out of the job. He was outside of the Space Pyramid Denny's and was kind of sad about himself. All he had to console him was this gray face thing that floated and frequently asked questions of varying levels of fucked. One day, it looked at him and asked, "Have you ever sneezed so hard your penis exploded?" This hit close to home. "Why did you ask me that?" Solomon said, tears in his eyes. Face remained neutral, but seemed a bit impatient, like he was waiting for Solomon to give him a simple yes or no answer. Solomon just can't answer something like that. Not after the crash. "Yes or no?" Face asked. Solomon looked down at his... "Yes!" Solomon said, and Face responded with the emotion where he turns into a Cyclops for some reason. But then Zack and his monsters came in. Firstly, this seemed very bad. You see, the reason why Godzilla is in the cartridge was because there was once an evil beast who bore a striking resemblance to the nuclear lizard. He was merciless. He had no compassion. He killed all who stood in his path. He made everyone die in hell. And Solomon was almost ready to do battle with him. But then he remembered the Agelums killed him and simply turned his body into a vessel for the cartridge's method of having Goji travel through the world, so it's okay. Zack then became quick friends with Solomon, prancing through the horribly polluted and mixed-old fields of Exodus. Just so we're clear here, Zack actually was just friends with Solomon. He's a lot of things, but a monster funker ain't one of them, unfortunately. Then, the Chimera appeared, and he quoted a famous haiku. "I'm having trouble connecting to internet. Try again later." Godzilla and the Skittle Squad saw this, and they decided this fucker must die. So they did. And the Chimera quoteth his last haiku before death. "Holy shit, I am going to die. Holy shit, I am going to die?" That's not even a haiku. 0 out of 10. He's better off dead anyway. Turn this shit off. And give the fireplace its ambient shade of orange back. Thank you. Anyway, after picking each monster's stat bonuses from leveling up, something different happened. There was no red level, but instead a 3D rendered cross gravestone. Sakat. No offense, but was this the best you could do? Godzilla said. Sakat 57's voice rang out. Fuck! Game cancelled! The 3D adaptation of NGC was then lost to the sands of lost media. Slender Man never recovered either. Anyway, Godzilla went to the level, looking for a good gravestone to wipe his ass with. But that's when Zack saw it. Thanks to a red circle and arrow pointing at it. And by it, I mean the blue angle. This blue angel was so appealing to Zack that his pupils dilated and he went from not a monster fucker to not a monster fucker, but... However, this sadly only lasted for 5 seconds as he appeared. Sans, because Red was busy. "Hey, kid," he said. "That red dude told me to tell you that you wouldn't last 5 seconds here." Sans then continued as fire started to rise. "Anyway, kid, I'm gonna be honest. Gas will fill the room." This caused the Blue Angel to fucking die from the gas. Sans scratched his ass and then said, "I'm gonna be honest again, kid." His face turned red. "I am God." And then it was revealed that this wasn't normal Sans. It was my new AU, NGC Sans. Anyway, Solomon was getting tired and got over his fear of graveyards, so he snuck up behind NGC Sands and backstabbed him with the spicycle. But God didn't like that, so he sent them to hell. At least someplace close enough to hell. Zenith. It was okay. Now, originally, we had the good ending, where there was a giant explosion and everyone died! Except the good creatures, and Zachary. But, unfortunately, that film reel burned up, so we're gonna have to use the bad ending now. Here we are in hell. Or Zenith. You know the place. It's nothing but a super city complex. That bastard Red turned hell into New Jersey, which is worse! And then the shit monster appeared. It looks very angry. I am the shit king? The monster looks like the Blue Angel, but don't make me say it. Thankfully, Zach was not into this one. Then they came across the hybrid. It was different. It had a flock of seagulls haircut and only one nostril. Mothra gave them all a bunch of Alka-Seltzer tablets. It made a loud boom. Next up was Bobo, who ran a green energy company that used blood mills. Green sued them for existing. This caused Bobo to get angry and attempt to take his anger out on Godzilla's crew. However, some third monster that we forgot about came in and swept his ass. They fought in a punch-out style, but Bobo just got 3 hit-star punches TKO'd. Next up was Canadolt's new station. Godzilla got ready for a fight, but apparently Canadolt started a union and quit from Red on good terms. But not enough for Canadolt to care about Red. Godzilla respectfully left, but not before grabbing one of his business cards. Guess he had plans. Oh, right, I forgot we didn't finish the Firebrand section. Should say Big Hot Man somewhere in here, when someone writes it. There's no way we forget to come back and write the Firebrand part, right? Let's here. Let a character Firebrand appear with Firebrand dialogue. Solomon responds, fuck you. Firebrand responds with, this is a placeholder, insert your text here. Ah, fuck! Who forgot to load Counter-Strike source? I did, said the guy. We're crunching to meet the Christmas release. Nobody's probably gonna play this far anyway. Oh wait, I think there's something here. A bloodied Firebrand is weakly floating in a lava pool as Solomon hits the Akuma end of a raging demon pose. I was the better soldier, said Solomon, which caused text to appear over him saying, still the best 1973. Firebrand then turned into Ash Baby as he sunk into the lava. A scary Bowser icon faded onto the screen when that happened. 11 hours or 11 years passed. After that happened, Mothra had this to say. Why did that feel like it took too long? Damn. No Jackenstein for Zach, I guess. Oh well. Then it was time to do battle with the 2 hench monsters. Red shamelessly stole that word from Igorn. At the tail end of Zenith, Destroya and Ghidorah. There were a lot of skeletons in the world suddenly. Wonder why that is. Godzilla had something to say to Destroya. It was, "You are too red." He pointed his slimiest claw towards Destroya's face. He was 1 micro-inch bump. Sorry about that. It happens. Destroya is now green. For the sake of ending it quickly, Anguirus tried stabbing Destroya right in the weird chest thing. Yes, Anguirus is a character now. With a sharp rock. But it only made him bleed. For 8 seconds. And Guilus, he was also always there, does the same. Crack! Oh boy, he says. Look what you've done! You broke my armor, my power limiter, and especially as an option to hide my muscles. Then a giant bright-ass light started emitting from that chest area. Dumb fuck, Solomon said. Fuck you, buffed, God said. Godzilla just stood there for a bit and went, you know, I never thought about this, but what if we just let him explode? So we did, but not after 500 more last breath phases that we don't talk about here. Just know that one of the phases involves his iconic catchphrase, Ayuda, por favor. Only one barrier remained until the Fuck Squad could take on Red, and it was Ghidorah. It was at this point that Godzilla was kinda getting sick of things. Why are we wasting our time with this? Are we seriously going to let an uninteresting cameo from one of my movies, unchanged from its original appearance, be the last thing we face before the final confrontation? He said. I'm not boring, Ghidorah's third head said. Godzilla sighed, pulled out a syringe of glitch juice, and stabbed it directly into Ghidorah, which made him all pibby glitchy and fucked up and scary! Now you aren't, Godzilla said. Mothra gulped. I think this is bad, actually, she said, thinking it was bad, actually. Godzilla just watched in sick enjoyment as Mecha Ghidorah was glitching all over the fucking place. But then it wasn't funny when Godzilla got hit with a gravity beam. I actually don't know what the gravity beam does, but it was really scary, let me tell you. Okay, I'm sick of your shit now, Godzilla said, and he used his mind powers to shrink Mecha Ghidorah by approximately 1 inch. What did that even change? Solomon asked. Nothing, but it's going to be very annoying for him, Goji responded before finally just shooting the beast in the third head. And so, like that one part of I Hate You, Red's domain was revealed to the fuckers. Oh god, no! Mario screams. Ahem, actually, Zack chimes in. It's... oh my god. It was nothing short of spine-chilling. If what Melissa saw had even the slightest resemblance of this sprite, then I can see why she fucking died that fateful night. This was big. Huge. Hearing about Red was one thing, but seeing him? Hell nah. The infamous ex-friend with benefits of Solomon was my final opponent. Red fucking came out and went BAH! As the final fight began. Red started off simple. And by simple, I mean he took the concept of Anguirus and fucking shot a bunch of scalding hot needles into its face. And Guileless walks in old man style. Boy, am I sure glad I'm not that guy. He leaves the battle soon afterwards. Have you gotten Lockjaw at the dick-sucking factory yet? Solomon yells at Red. Yes, the first ever Lockjaw to be used for dick-sucking in decades. But it's still more than you'll ever get. Red responds before forehead-flicking Solomon, sending him miles away. The sheer amount of evil happening during this fight is enough to make Mothra's brain short-circuit and melt. This causes her to unlock her second form, Comatose Mothra! Not quite dead, but not useful. New abilities include Do Nothing and Die. Godzilla watches on in a bored expression. You can't be fucking serious. I would have been more brutal than you in less time you took to do all that shit. Red just kinda stares in confusion. Weren't those your party members or some shit? Yeah, and they sucked major ass. Red said. Then he just poked Godzilla, which insta-killed him and gibbed him like a Gmod model. Red jumped in victory, before shortly realizing. Oh, shit! I just broke the fucking rules! A familiar golden voice booms from elsewhere. Your ass is fucking grass and your Zenith Miss story is bullshit! Oh, fuck, Red said. Looks like I've gotta, run out of here! And so, Red was being chased by Acacius all throughout Zenith. Every time felt like he was running out of breath. Acacius just got faster and faster. You have no idea how long I've wanted to do this, you douche canoe! Acacius said, poking Red in the back with a 900-degree pitchfork. This makes him go, yowza! And jump into the air with a smoke trail. He then bounced off of a mountain, and then another like a pinball table, and was sent careening into the hottest lava pit in Zenith. Fuck! It burns! Red bellowed, his final words ringing out into the hellish air. Solomon was nearby the lava pit. Even though he hated Red and their relationship, he can admit this now that Red is dead, was the worst fucking thing ever. He couldn't deny an emptiness welling up in his soul. For once in his life, he didn't feel like the best, 1973. He hasn't felt that way since the crash, really. He felt like the not best, 2005. After all was said and done, Godzilla and his cohorts were teleported to the graveyard from Exodus. Zach, you did it. You finally killed Red, Melissa said. Ha, yeah, I totally did, Zach said, looking the other way. I guess that means you're free now, right? Indeed, and it's all thanks to everything you've done. I am forever grateful, she said. Solomon looked away, as he wasn't used to seeing an actually healthy relationship. Mothra looked on in joy, and Face was also there. He was kind of normal. Godzilla, though... What? He said. Are you fucking kidding me? We went through an entire conquest, an entire planetary travel, only to, what, be saved? By a fucking Deus Ex Machina? Yeah, that's about the size of it, Acacia says. Zach cleared his throat. Yeah, I'm not too torn up by this. Melissa's safe, I got my retros, and that's all that matters to me. Doesn't matter if it was from a Deus Ex. No. I'm not going to let my conquest end without some real bloodshed to cap it off. Perhaps it was a waste of time for me to have a party anyway. Tapping into what remains of his previous self, and before everyone's shock and horror, he grew 50 times in size. He turns his gaze towards Face and fires an enormous beam of fire, completely incinerating him in the process. And I just got back from Undying. Does this fucking suck? Yes. He makes one last Cyclops expression before turning into a pile of ash. The remaining fuckers scatter in an effort to escape his wrath. What the shit even is this, Solomon says, forgetting he can fly and just running on foot. Godzilla stomps the ground, sending Solomon flying, but not that kind. I can explain, but do we have time for a lore dump? Acacia says casually. Does it look like we have time for a lore dump? Yes. Acacia started to explain the entire plot of HJP as everyone got their asses ripped off, handed to them, ripped off again, and then handed back again. By the time Acacius was done, everyone was bored to tears, even Godzilla, surprisingly. So are you going to fight or not? Oh, this? Buddy, you don't want none of this, Acacia says. Put up your dupes, they say before quickly being swatted away by Godzilla. Melissa sighs. Zach, select me. All this time, everyone else has been getting their own hype moments and aura, whereas I'm left with nothing. Could you at least provide us something worthwhile? Zach says, Oh, don't worry, Melissa. I know a guy. Let me call someone over. He dials a number and suddenly, Yuri Neri walks in and modifies Mozilla into a whatever the fuck she was going to be in an NGC game. Seriously, I don't know what some badass angel girl, I guess? Alright, now we're kicking with gas. Melissa visualizes an anvil. Oh, what are you gonna do? Hit me with that? Godzilla taunts. No. Melissa then teleports it inside Godzilla's left lung. This causes him to start gasping horribly. The impact was so humongous it made the document pageless. Fuck! Godzilla then began to shake and vibrate to the point where the CRT began to shake as well, before exploding into a bunch of small, evil, and rotten copies of himself. Oh god, rotten boys, Solomon says. As the rotten boys close in on the group, Anguirus, who still is covered in Red's horrible scalding needles, gets a bright idea. Don't worry, guys. I also know a guy. He gets out his Anguirus phone, almost bringing out his Anguirus credit card in the process, and calls another guy. The ambusher from T3C appears. Time to fucking deck these guys. And so he does. It's really badass. Acacius then fills out a Godzilla vessel turned evil again form. Well, Zach, it's been really fucking weird. Like that Godzilla shit? Crazy, Melissa said. Yeah, that was like fucked up. I didn't think you could do that. I'm never gonna watch a Godzilla movie again, Zach responded. Acacius inched towards Solomon. Hey, want to hear about what happened to my balls? Solomon turns. One time I farted so hard, they exploded. Oh my god, I get it. The two of them leaned in for a super fucking sloppy kiss. I'm gonna miss you, Melissa. I hope heaven doesn't have any evil-ass blue lizards, Zach says. Would you still love me if I was reincarnated as a worm, though? Melissa asks. Better than an evil-ass blue lizard. The two exchange a look of fondness as the screen fades to black. The game ends with a single image of Mothra looking out at the horizon. Maybe he wasn't everything he was cracked up to be, but he'll come back. He always does, she says. Runeborn Afton lays his fucked up hand on her shoulder. Title screen fades in. Seems like it's back to the original G-Mom. Zachary starts it up again, and it's normal. Even the quality of life features have been removed. Damn, kinda wish they'd let me at least keep those. Oh well. But then, a familiar and blue negative voice came back. Collect my copies. Oh, fuck no! Yo ass tweaking, Goji! Zach said, then proceeding to take the game out and make an auction for it on Evil Bay. Evil ass game cartridge for sale. Has evil shit inside. Buy now! Bad idea, Zach, because now the cartridge might toast us 20-ish times on the website. How did it even do that? I don't know, but it's your fault. Someone fucking dumped the ROM. It's all your fault, Zach. He then proceeded to write the description. Evil ass game. If you play it, there will be an evil fucking creature to come after you. Here's this entire story talking about how evil this thing is. Deep in a cave, in the planet Hell, the evil face woke up and felt a disturbance in the force. But not yet. We don't talk about him yet. For now, though, this is the ending of Zach's adventure. And so begins Chapter 4, the replanning. However, that is where I have to end this video. The archives are not complete yet for this timeline, but I assure you, this is not the last you'll be hearing. But thank you, genuinely, for watching so far. We've worked really hard to make this story as good as it possibly can be. To me, I feel like this is a story about a lot of things. Love, loss, Sans, Undertale, Bleed, 4, 8, Seconds. Lots of things. There's a lot of things. But perhaps you will allow yourself to take it with you, to hold it close to your heart, and most of all, to, I don't know, fucking do some other third thing with your life, I fucking guess. Make sure to make out with that subscribe button. Take it out somewhere nice. Give them a back massage. Maybe you could even mingle around with the like button. Or maybe getting a thruple. Or a quadple? I don't actually know what the term is. With the comment button, too. Really helps the channel out. Thank you. And always remember,